you come off as very high-strung and aggressive at times. You don't mean to. It's just who you are. You've learned at some point in your life that you need to control the dynamic in order to get the results that you want, because you never felt heard. So you're gonna hear me now. That's what it is. You don't realize you're doing it. You may see it. You don't self-reflect though on that aspect. Another thing that we're not self-reflecting on, and I did this my whole life, and it's the reason why I hide in my room for 2 years and not date. And that's the truth, because I haven't figured it out yet either. I've just figured out that it's not working, is that I have a very strong, dominant personality. I get in my masculine role and I try to dominate things. And subconsciously, my subconscious tells me, pick weaker men, they're safer. Pick weaker men, pick them. You can control them. They won't leave you. They won't spike your abandonment wound. Now, of course, this is not a conscious choice, babe. You don't say, where's a weak man? I like that. You don't get on Tinder and ask for a weak man. Nobody does that intentionally. You just tend to attract them because they want the mommy archetype. And you naturally are that. Mean mommy sometimes. And they always want a mommy until mommy says no. They want all the nurturing, all the care, all the... Y'all's dynamic is very draining. I'm going to be yawning the whole reading, swear to God. They want all of that. They don't realize how juvenile they are. They don't realize how passive they are, and they don't realize how immature they are. They don't realize how avoidant they are. And you know, opposites attract. An avoidant loves an overly attached one, but you're an attached avoidant. You're an avoidant attached. You're both, but it's like, this is crazy, this yawning. You were already in your dominant energy. And that's why he was attracted to you, and he was passive, and that's why you were attracted to him. Now, y'all could say two different things. I liked his eyes, and I liked his hair, and I loved her smile, and her perfume smell, and the way she cooked, and whatever. When it comes down to it, much like evil loves kind, right? Passive loves dominant. Because you're going to kind of carry the emotional weight and drain yourself and yawn 50 times during a reading while they don't have to. They don't realize they're doing that because they've never done anything else. They probably had a mom do all those things for them. His case may be different. He either had a strong masculine around him or no masculine at all, which I do think no masculine at all, which left his mom to be dominant. In your case, your mother was this. Now, there was something where you were like a parentified child, but she was still very dominant. So she still called the shots, but she was overly mature, but also, this is insane. This is insane. I have not yawned one time this whole night. Wow. But she was chaotic and immature in some ways. And you had to kind of step in as the mature one, right? Control it, get it under control. So it maybe led you to, something tells me she was very worried about appearances, but you were too, but in the ways that she wasn't, you were, and vice versa. There's something there where it's not the exact same, but you mirror back what she isn't and also what she is. You absorbed some of her traits and some not. And I'll tell you, the movie that I'm picturing with this is Anywhere But Here. And I had to remind myself the storyline of that one because I haven't seen that in forever. Ironically, my mom showed me that movie, but I've forgotten about that movie. I mean, that movie came out in '99, and I know that because I just researched it, but it's with Susan Sarandon and Natalie Portman, I think, and it's a mom and a daughter. The mom is big on appearances. She's very vain, but also kind of just a little reckless and very volatile. And the daughter is very mature, but also very hard-headed and volatile. And they kind of just bump heads throughout the whole movie. I don't really remember the entire storyline. I just kind of downloaded what I could and just sort of looked up what I could to get the overall gist of it. But that's what I saw. And Spirit would not serve me a memory from 1999 if it didn't mean something. So that means something. I think that's you and your mom. And if I'm being honest, it's me and my mom. And if I'm being super honest, it's me and my daughter too. It's weird how I'm inserting this into your reading, but Spirit is saying, you too, Brooke. This is you too. This is what you've healed to not do, but it's still there. The archetype, even with me and my daughter who's 17, it's still there, right? And I know you have 2 sons, so it's probably not going to replicate over into their childhood like that, right? But with you and your mom, it was that. It was that. It was that. If your father was around when you were younger, which I do think that he was because your mom did value appearances, so I do think that it was important to have that husband figure and family dynamic kind of on display, but I think he was passive as well.